Hope everyone is having a wonderful day or evening, depending on where you are in the world. Sorry, y'all, my voice. I think I'm losing my voice. I feel better now. My brother brought me some NyQuil last night. I was able to fall asleep. But, you know, I just want to talk about sometimes it's okay to let people that mean you no good. People that mean you no good. And when I say that, it's people that literally have done something to you to tear you down. It's okay to let those people go. Let those people out of your life because they mean you no good. I had a family member tell me that I mean her no good. And all I ever done was try to love her. All I ever done was love her. That's all I knew. When she was younger and my mother kept her, and her mother was in Vegas, I raised her. I was 10 years old. And I kept her and her brother. That's just the way it was back then. We kept family. But I was there. I didn't have a 10-year-old childhood. I didn't have a 9-year-old childhood or an 8-year-old childhood, 11-year-old childhood, 12-year-old childhood. I didn't have it. But I loved her. And I did the best that I could, that I knew. And as we're grown, I reached out to her. And she says, why would I let you in my life if you mean me no good? Now, I've never done anything vindictive to this woman or this relative of mine. I've never took her child and hit her child. I've never supported an abusive husband. I've never, that was hers, an abusive husband, that was hers. And I've never done that. I've never talked about her, put her down. I never used her. I never dogged her. I never punked her. I never abused her. I never abused her kids. I talked about her kids. Never. But yet, she says, why would I let you in my life and you mean me no good? See, sometimes you have to understand how the enemy works, how the devil works. The devil doesn't care about how you feel about anything. He just doesn't. So stop looking for a resolution, because the devil is never going to give it to you. The devil is never going to apologize for the things he's done wrong. He wants you to feel isolated. He wants you to hurt. He wants you to feel down. But you have the power to change that. And you can do it. See, I never gave up on that relationship. And I never will. I allowed God to remove it out of my life. Not that I allowed God like I'm over him, but I didn't fight it. Because sometimes, here's what we can do in the flesh. We can fight against what the Most High is trying to set for us in our life. We'll fight against it in the flesh because that's what we want. And that makes us feel good. And that makes us comfortable. We don't want to be uncomfortable. Because the minute we get uncomfortable, oh no, something is wrong. And we got to fix it. But here's the thing. Sometimes you are not supposed to fix it. You're supposed to ride through the storm, because the Most High will never bring something to you that you cannot handle. And he will not bring you through something that he knows you can't get through. He knows that you can get through it. You have to trust and believe that you're going to get better, survivors. You got to believe that things are going to change in your favor. You have to believe that that power that is in him is in you. And the promise that he made to you is that he'll never leave you. So that energy and that feeling that you feel within yourself is him. And I say him because it's a masculine thing. It's a stronger power. And not saying that the femininity is not strong, but it's a different part of the divine. Masculinity and femininity is two different parts of the divine. And I think we get miscrewed with that. But it's all from the same power. I just wanted to come on and let you guys know that you're not alone, that the hurt and the pain that you are feeling and the suffering that you are going through is only for a time. You have to listen and you have to say, why? Why am I going through this? What is it? And you don't think that you've done something wrong. I had a lady ask me that is a pastor. She called herself a pastor, a minister, something like that. Okay. And I went to her for prayer. Okay. And her question to me was, well, what have you done wrong in your life to be receiving so much negativity and so much wrongfulness in your life? What have you done? You need to sit back and you need to think about what you done and repent for the things that you done. Well, I listened and I thought, Father, what have I done? And I went all the way back to when I was a child. And I said, I prayed. And I was in the 3rd grade. I prayed Monday, morning, noon, and night. I began to pray 3 times a day for things to change in my life, and they never changed. And God said, when you get older, you can change those things. That is the words that came across my mind. So I began to wait. And when I got older, my mother died when I was 12. She passed away. And I said, God, when will these things change? Why am I hurting? Why am I suffering? Why are these pain? Why is this pain hurting so bad? And God put across my mind, things will change. Things will get better. Your mother is in a better place. So I left it at that. And I moved on, and I lived with a family member that abused me, that hurt me, that broke me, took my dignity, would slap me in the face as I was abused, took my dignity away. And I said, God, please, what is it? I literally took a curling iron. And what had happened was I was in school. This happened when I was a teenager. And I was a little bitty thing. I was always little and petite. And a big guy at school in junior high, and not junior high, this was high school, had grabbed me and put a hickey on my neck. And y'all, I was so scared of my family member that I took a hot curling iron and I stuck that hot curling iron to my neck and I burned myself. I literally wanted to feel the pain. I'd rather feel the pain of being burned by a curling iron than to feel her beating me and abusing me and slapping me in the face as she was beating me. I did nothing wrong. And again, I prayed to God. And I said, God, why am I going through this? Why? I didn't understand. And God said, this too shall pass. Keep your faith. I was 15 to 16. And God said, this too shall pass. When I was 17 and a half, I got pregnant. And y'all got pregnant and I didn't have intercourse. I did not have intercourse when I got pregnant. But I got pregnant with my first child because I was rolling around and things happened and it happened. I didn't even know I was pregnant. And as I got pregnant, as I was pregnant, I started thinking to myself, no one loves me. God, why are you letting this happen to me? And God put across my mind, hold on. Because things are going to change. Things has to happen. You have a purpose in your life. So stay strong. I couldn't understand it, y'all. But I kept on. God brought somebody in my life. And I was 15 and I made her my friend. I made her my best friend. Because I was a child that didn't have a lot of friends. Even at 15, I couldn't because I didn't get to go a lot of places. And I just didn't. I was very sociable, but I just didn't have a lot of friends because the person that was my guardian just did not let me have a social life like that. I didn't. I wasn't able to do a lot of things. So I didn't have a lot of friends. So this person was in my life. I made this person my kid's godmom. And I held on to that regardless because she was a special person in my life. And as life went on, there was this guy that probably was no good for me. But at the time, he was my friend because he gave me time. And he came and visited me. And I was pregnant, but he was still my friend. Needless to say, I married this guy. I never gave up on my faith. I never gave up on God. I never seen God as doing something wrong in my life or causing issues in my life. I never seen that. I waited on things to get better. But as I got with this guy, needless to say, I married him. And that was the wrong thing to do because he was abusive. And not only was he abusive, he was physically abusive. He was mentally abusive. He was so abusive to me that he broke my finger. He broke my finger. He would body slam me. He would do a lot of things to me. And I don't know if I should be saying this, but this is a trigger warning. So all of you survivors, please, if you just can't handle this, I get it. Just don't listen. But I stayed fast to my faith. When I got married to him, I joined church. I was a young mother and I joined church and I knew I had to have God in the center of my life. I knew the Most High had to be the standing point in my life. And when we was at church, this man literally pushed me back and went up there and devoted his life to God. He devoted himself. He got baptized and he began in the church. He began to become a deacon. And I was so grateful to God. I was so amazed, and I was in my prime of my life. God had done it. I had waited. But you guys have to pause for a second, because sometimes when things look good, God is allowing things to happen to get you through things, to strengthen you for the greater things that are to come. And I didn't know. I didn't listen. I wanted to believe that this was it. And this man, as he was in church, he continued to abuse me. He abused me, but he was in church. And he was fighting his demons, and I had an obligation as a wife to stand by him, as I thought. But he abused me so bad that at this time, he was dishonest, and there was infidelity. And he abused me to the point to where I had an out-of-body experience. And I looked down over my body as I seen him doing CPR. And I looked over in the bed, and I could see my daughters. I had 2 girls at the time. And I could see my daughters sleeping. And I was thanking God that they didn't see me lying there, lifeless. I could see myself. I was on the ceiling. At least that's what it felt like. And I could see myself looking down over my body at this man that I trusted, because he was my husband, and I felt he was led by God, and I still feel that he's led by God, but he has to make choices in his own life. And when I realized what was happening, I began to say, God, I can't go, because I have no one to take care of my children. I came back, and when I came back, there was still a hurt and an emptiness I felt, survivors. I felt this emptiness within me. And I said, okay. I didn't understand it, and I still asked God, why? What is going on? I'm doing everything that you want me to do. I don't understand why things are not working out. And I kept my faith. I kept my trust and my belief in the Most High, that he will change things and make things better. That I can change things by doing things that he wants me to do. And I actually left my husband, and I got back with my husband. And I believe it was the battered woman syndrome is why I got back with him. Because I felt like I could change him, or that I was safer with him. Okay. So he came, and we got back together. I ended up having my son. Once I had my son, I was done with having children. Although I made mistakes. But I was done. And I still didn't forget the prayers that I had prayed with God. Help me. Is this what you want me to do? And me keeping my faith and still trying to move forward. And still moving forward in faith. Believing that he will never leave me and he will hold on to me. I wasn't perfect by far, but my faith was strong. I knew that he would take care of me, and he had always taken care of me. The Most High, the universal God, creator over all creation, over all the universe. The one that is within all of us. And so after that, I ended up leaving my husband anyway. I had to, because he was going to kill me. And I had to leave him. And I shouldn't say kill. I shouldn't say that. Forgive me. Kill. I don't want YouTube to ding me for that. So maybe, I hope not. But I left and I went to a battered woman shelter. I was in Texas. And I went to a battered woman shelter. And I got away from him. I still kept my faith, and I still asked God at this moment. I asked God, I said, God, what is it? I'm doing everything. Why is my life turning around? I've had children. I still kept my faith. I'm still with you. I'm trying to do what you want me to do. I've come through all my abuse as a child, all my abuse as a teenager, all my abuse as an adult. I'm still being abused. I still don't understand it, Father. And what came across my mind was keep faith. Believe that you are going to get through it. And I still tried. I said, okay, Father, I love you and I believe that you're going to take care of me, Father. So I stayed in faith and believing that he will take care of me. And I kept faith. Hold on, y'all. Turn on my fan. And I believe that. And so I was a young woman then. I was about 27 when I left my, was I 27? My 24, 25 when I left my husband. I was broken. I was battered. And my family members were not there for me. I didn't know at the time, but they had their own faults. I didn't understand it. I was a young woman of God, of the Most High, and I just didn't understand it. So moving along, I got into this relationship. Okay, it wasn't a relationship because I had fallen in love, or a relationship because I wanted to be with somebody. It was because God had brought somebody in my life to get me through a season. And I didn't understand it. But I accepted it. And I went in that relationship, and I was in that relationship for years. I wasn't a good person because it was a relationship that I probably should have just let God allow, and then was grateful and still stayed friends with this person. But I didn't listen. And it was a wonderful relationship. The person was a very good man, but he wasn't the man I needed to be with. I had to heal from my abuse. I had to heal from what I had just experienced. And I needed to get to a place and listen to the Most High tell me what I needed to do. And I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Now I know. But at the time, I didn't know it. So I ended up leaving this relationship because it wasn't fair to the person, and it wasn't fair to my children. It just wasn't fair. I needed to get back to my faith. And I still made mistakes. I did wrong. I did things in the flesh instead of putting God first. And my life took a drastic turn. I was still going through a lot of tribulations, and I couldn't understand it. I knew I had to change and get my life back with the Most High. And I think I was about 33 then. 33 or 34. And I still had not gotten peace in my life. I was still going through a lot, y'all. And I couldn't understand it. And I did get angry, and I got angry. And I'm like, God, you said to hold on. You said things were going to change in my life. You said to just stay strong and keep the faith. And things ain't changed. My whole life has turned upside down, and you have done nothing. You've done nothing. You've changed nothing. And there was silence. There was no answer. And I said, God left me. I'm alone. He left me. So at this time, I was 30, 34, 35. But I knew how to speak things into existence. I knew how to keep the faith. I knew he was with me. I knew he would never leave me, because he said he'll never leave me nor forsake me. So I kept that in my heart. But yet I was upset that things hadn't changed the way I wanted it to change and the way I wanted things to be. Because I felt that he said that he would change those things. So I began to be angry. But he never left me. So I moved into a house. Nice house. I couldn't understand. I was still trying to live in the flesh, y'all. Still trying to live in the flesh. And I got into this relationship with somebody that was totally wrong. And I have a gift of dreams. So I would have these dreams of this person and him being a bacteria, or he had multiple personalities and he was different. And it was a demon here, and it was a demon there, and it was a demon here, and it was a demon there. And I was being bombarded by this demon, but I was allowing my flesh to accept it. Okay? Instead of getting to myself and listen to the Most High and listen to God and listen to what he wanted me to do. I was in the flesh. And at this time, God kept telling me, and I kept having dreams, and my feet kept itching. And I kept getting this feeling, roller coaster. When I was a little kid, I would always get roller coaster feelings. And I knew that something was happening. And at this time, I got roller coaster feelings, and I kept saying, God, I don't know what's getting ready to happen, Father. But I know I'm getting ready to go to a different place. I know I'm getting ready to travel down a different road, a different place that I've never been, Father. And I began to pray to please don't leave me. Hold on to me. Help me. Why can't I stop it? If I know, if you showing me, if you telling me what I'm getting ready to do, why can't I stop it, Father? My universal God, why can't I stop it? Why am I still going down this path? And my mind began to break, y'all. I began to have anxiety. I began to have visions and dreams. When I say dreams, I mean lucid dreams. I mean angels would come and see me in my dreams. I had a dream of, it was a dream where it was a police officer at my door. Bam, 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 bam. I had fell asleep, woke up, bam, bam. And I'm like, who's knocking at my door? Sounded like the police. And I opened up the door, and it was the police. But as the police was standing there in the dark, it was dark. He was standing there in the dark. He had his head on, and the moon was shining down on him. I couldn't see his face, but I knew he was the police, right? And he says, we got a call from this address. There has been a disturbance at this address. Someone called. And I'm pissed at the time, okay? I'm pissed. God is working through me, but I'm still not seeing it. I'm still not seeing it. God, I'm still a work in progress. And I said, hold on. I'm going in there to my kids. Somebody in there done called the police. Now the police at my door. Y'all, this is a dream, but it's real. I can touch the police. I can touch the door. I could touch everything. The doorknob to the door. So I'm going back into my kid's room, and I swung open the door to my son's room because I'm going to get him. He's fast asleep. Oh, my daughter's doing this. My girls. So I go to their room and I swing open the door. I'm going to get them. They fast asleep, y'all. So I'm puzzled. I'm scratching my head. I'm like, God, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's happening, God, but something's not right. So I get back to the door and I'm like, no, sir. Officer still standing there. And I said, officer, my kids are asleep. I'm so sorry. Nobody has called 911 from this number. This address. So I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. And he says to me that I'll never forget. And the Most High won't ever let me forget it. He said, we will be surveillancing the area. Call if there is a disturbance. If you need anything, give us a call. We will be surveillancing the area. And at the time, I didn't get it. I said, oh, okay, all right. Thank you, officer. Thank you so much. I could see the police car and everything. Police officer. I could see the moon. I shut the door. And I laid back down just as I got up. The next morning was a hustle and bustle because I had a daycare home. So I was up with the kids and I hadn't thought about it. And all of a sudden I stopped in my tracks and I'm like, wait a minute. Did that happen? Did that really happen? Did the police officer come? There was no way for me to tell. But in my heart and my mind, I knew it was real. So I always kept that to call if there's a disturbance, if I need anything, to call on the Most High. Kept that. But that did not stop my break. That did not stop me from feeling like I needed to get away, and I did. I got away, y'all. I call myself getting away. This is what I call myself. I got away, okay? I went and stayed with my brother in Las Vegas. I just left. I broke everything. I just closed my daycare. This is the enemy. But God allowed things to happen so you can get through your tribulations. And you can get through and keep your faith. He allowed things to happen. Things are allowed. So I had this break. It was my first breakdown. And when I had a breakdown, I couldn't distinguish if this is real. Oh, am I supposed to do this? God, I don't know what to do. First time in my life I have ever not known what to do. And I called my big brother in Vegas. He lived in Las Vegas. And I called him because when we were little kids and my mother used to fight, and she fought all the time with her boyfriends and a man she was with or whatever. He would always take me by the hand and protect me. And I needed him. And that's who I went to. I went to him. But anyway, I'm going to end it there, y'all. And then I'll be back. I love you guys. Okay? Remember to change your negative thoughts to your positive thoughts. And make good choices. Things will get better.